Hi everyone! So I've had so many people request some sort of Halloween look, some sort of Halloween related get ready with me. So I thought that I would just do something completely for fun. So I am going to be doing a Medusa look. I was inspired because of my weird love for snakes, but also because I really like the mythology. I just thought it would be fun to do an interpretation of it. So I am taking inspiration from Desi Perkins' Melting Skull look that she did a couple of years ago because I really wanted to do something like it, but I had no reason to ever. And I'm no artist. I definitely wouldn't be able to like draw the skeleton face like she did, but I wanted to do something in that vein. So that's where my inspiration is coming from, and then from the mythology. So I'm going to do this section of my face sort of like glam makeup, and then the other section is just going to be rough and green and not really snake inspired. I never really viewed Medusa as being part snake. I always just looked at her as having snakes in her hair. There was a few different variations of the Medusa myth. And anyway, I'm going to get started here. I'm going to do a little bit of my foundation first. So I just already drew on my one brow, my left brow so far, and I did put a little color corrector underneath this eye. And I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way foundation for that little section because I'm going to be using green grease paint for the other section, but I wanted to at least have a little good base going. I wasn't too meticulous when I took my makeup off today either, because I thought that this would just be fun, and this isn't going to be on my face for very long. And my face is already primed as well. I wasn't going to do this, honestly. I'm not a big Halloween costume kind of person, and that's probably surprising because I love any opportunity to dress up. I love any opportunity to do some weird stuff. I love the creepiness of Halloween, but I'm more of like a all year round creepy kind of person as opposed to just Halloween specific. I can't remember the last time I did anything very specific for Halloween. I've done a few little tiny things, like I've done my face sort of like a leopard, and I've done Wednesday Addams like for wearing to work, but in general I'm not big on the Halloween stuff. I don't go to Halloween parties. I never really did. Like I dressed up in school, obviously, when I was really young, but the last time I dressed up in school was when I was in the 10th grade. I was Karen Walker. Funny because Will Grace is back now. And it just reminds me of that every year. That was the last year I did the whole Karen Walker thing with the black dress and the updo hair, and I carried around a martini glass and a bottle of pills, and I had a fur coat on that actually was a vintage fur coat that belonged to my mother. And it was so much fun. But anyway, so I'm gonna do a gold, probably half cut crease on this eye. I want it to be very glam because like I said, I'm taking inspiration from the mythology. So there's a few variations of Medusa, and while I'm talking, I'm gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna use the Natasha Denona Gold palette just because I love it so much, but it's just gold eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna take a light brown shade for my crease to start. So with the Medusa mythology, there's a few variations. The first is that Medusa was born as a monster, that she was born having, the really demon sort of inhuman like appearance with the snakes coming out of her head and wings and green skin, and that's just the way that she was born with her sisters, the Gorgon sisters. And that's sort of backed up by early Greek art. Like that's how she was really portrayed as. And then later on she became something else. And there's two main variations of the Medusa mythology that I've read. And one is, so I'm just taking the sort of yellow gold shade all over my lid to start. I don't know if I am going to do cut crease or what am I going to do? But anyway, one of the variations of the Medusa stories that I've read is that she was incredibly, incredibly beautiful and very arrogant about it, and was very much talking about how beautiful she was and how people loved her and how she was sort of like a show-off, and you know, very conceited and very vain because she knew that she was so beautiful and supposedly mortal and more beautiful than the goddesses, and to like actually voice that stuff was a no-no. So then she was turned into a monster to kind of have to repent for, you know, saying such blasphemous things. But then the version that I'm actually the most familiar with is where she was, yes, very beautiful, but modest, and she was pledging herself to Athena. And Athena is noticeable for being the virgin goddess. And so with Athena's temple, she had priestesses who had to pledge to her who would remain virgins. And Athena's rival, Poseidon, really wanted Medusa. And trigger warning, just gonna say that just so you know, Poseidon raped Medusa completely against her will because Medusa wanted to remain loyal to Athena. And when she explained what happened to Athena, Athena hated her for it. Didn't care that it was against her will, that she was not interested, that it didn't matter. You know, Medusa had defiled her temple and she had to be punished for it. So Athena transformed her into the serpent-headed monster that a lot of people are familiar with, and basically Medusa wanted to get revenge from that point on, like against men and stuff, because, you know, she was completely taken advantage of, and, you know, this was not the life that she wanted to live. And some people might not know, which I always find this an interesting little tidbit, is that Medusa had children because she got pregnant from Poseidon, and one of her children was Pegasus, the winged horse. So I think a lot of people are familiar with Pegasus, at least from like Hercules, the Disney movie, which I really love. But that's sort of the mythology there. And there's been many different artistic interpretations of Medusa, and it's really been over the last little while that you see a lot of more pretty depictions of Medusa, even when she is supposedly a monster. A lot of people, like, there's so many photoshopped images. Like when I was doing Google searches, I came across so many photoshopped images of like Angelina Jolie as Medusa, and it's really funny because by all accounts she was supposed to be turned into, you know, a hideous monster that men could not look at without turning to stone. And that's why there's the tale of her head being chopped off and being used as a shield, because Greek mythology is quite fascinating. But anyway, that's sort of my interpretation here. So I'm kind of going with some of the more like glam, obviously not true to time. It's not a period thing at all. I really just wanted to have fun with it, and I didn't have anything specific in mind, except that I knew I wanted to kind of do like the dripping thing because I really wanted to try that out. So I did get a snake headpiece, which was really, really cheap. I got it from Spirit Halloween because I reordered my snake earrings because I lost one of them. I was wearing like a really big turtleneck sweater one day that goes up really high, and one of the earrings must have got caught in it, and then I lost it. And me, being the same person that I am, decided to, I was just going to start putting gold on this eye. Immediately decided to start looking and replacing it because I just love these earrings. I love snake earrings. These are things I'm going to wear like year round. I don't care about holidays. So anyway, for this side, I just really wanted something kind of simple but glam. I'll put a pair of false eyelashes on this side as well because I wanted something that wasn't going to be too complicated. I feel like a lot of times with Halloween looks, a lot of people that I see dressed up for Halloween with costumes aren't like makeup artists. You know, people do what they can do, And I like seeing people have fun with it as opposed to seeing people like worry too hard about perfection, because it's so boring just to, you know, go after that that perfect thing, especially if you're not even going to have it on your face for very long. I don't know, just my thought. This isn't even an eyeliner, it's an old brow pencil, but I'm gonna smudge a little bit of this brown. My eyeliners, I've had to throw out so many of them because they've dried out, and I need to get new ones, but eyeliners are kind of boring, so I'm like, I don't want to buy a new brown eyeliner. But some of my staple products I've had to toss because they were just old, so it happens. Also why I don't want to have too much stuff, so I need to go through and clear out again. It's nice to go through and kind of refresh every now and then. I'm just putting a little bit more gold here because I wanted a little bit more sparkle. That's what I wanted the gold to go, because the headpiece I have is gold, but then I want the rest to be green. It feels really unbalanced doing one eye and not the other, but it's kind of fun as well. And I'm really glad people suggested, you know, just to have fun. I like talking to people and asking suggestions for what people would like to see, because it's always so interesting to me that people want to see some things that I never would have considered. Like, I never would have thought of doing something like this unless people had suggested it and said that it was something that they would be interested in. I got a new contour kit from Too Faced. This was actually sent to me, and I'm so grateful, because I had mentioned in one of my Get Ready With Me's how I wanted to replace my Shade and Light contour kit, and this is the deeper contour kit, which is just exactly what I needed for filming, because I find that my lights really wash me out, so I like to have the darker contour shade, so I really like that. I have a blush from Sigma that I'm going to use. So I know this is just like a little Halloween get ready with me, and I haven't touched much on a lot of things recently. Actually, I feel like I've been a little bit absent from the YouTube stuff, but I'm trying to get back into it again. I agreed to be a Sigma affiliate, which is a big thing for me. This is the first time I ever agreed to something like that. Sigma has a really good reputation, and it was just sort of like a personal kind of goal for me. I will have that like stuff in my description box, probably starting, I don't know if it'll be in this one, but starting soon-ish. I'm planning to donate 100% of whatever I get, if anything, to some of the local animal rescues. I want to start with the one that I got cashmere from, and that's just what I want to do. I don't want to make a big deal about it, but I knew I had to mention it, otherwise people would kind of jump on it. And I hate that, because I didn't want to like announce it or anything, but that's my plan. I feel like Sigma's pretty reputable. They have a really good reputation. People really like it, stand behind their products. And I thought, why not take this opportunity that's being given to me in order to give to someone else. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I really like this blush formula. I am not going to be a shill, so help me. You can slap me across the face if I turn into that. I just want to speak my truth. My truth. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I don't know what this video is turning into. It's been good just to sit and chat, because it's been a little while. And there's so many things that I've wanted to do, and I've actually just been a little overwhelmed by it, because instead of doing anything, I did nothing, because I couldn't settle on what I wanted to do. So I just made a little list and was like, let's just do this one at a time. The order doesn't have to be perfect. Because I was sort of overthinking it. I was like, oh, I have to do, you know, this kind of video, and then I can't do another video that's too similar. I have to space it out. And I'm like, no, just do what you want to do when you want to do it. Things will be so much better that way. So I'm wearing a big pair of giant lashes. These are some of my favorite dramatic lashes. I wear them all the time. They look really, really funny when it's just on one eye, but there you go. These are from Cocoa Lashes. They're the Marilyn style. So it kind of mix Marilyn Monroe's, you know, lash shadow that her makeup artist actually used to just draw on, like draw the shadow. There was a really cool Lisa Eldridge video where she talks about the Marilyn makeup tricks. So I really like that style. It's so dramatic, and I thought that would be perfect for this look because it is fairly simple, really, which is what I wanted. But anyway, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the drippy thing. I think I need to pencil it on first. Grab my favorite little mirror thing. Try to just kind of roughly figure out where I want this to go. That kind of, I think, could work. I just sort of roughly drew on because the rest of this side is going to be green, and I'm going to start. I actually just picked this up for like $2 at Party City. I ended up going there unplanned with my mother. She was going to Costco and I just went with her, and oh, I dug my finger right into it. She asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, sure, why not? So I was gonna try and use this sponge, but the sponge just seems to be absorbing all the product. This is gonna be a real big trial and error. I didn't want like Wicked Witch of the West green, but maybe that's what I'll end up getting here. Wow, this is gonna take forever. I don't even know how you're supposed to use this. I probably shouldn't have thrown the packaging away. It says, after applying base makeup, use grease to shade, highlight, or add details. Dust with powder to keep from smearing. Make sure sponges and applicators are clean before applying other colors. So it's just not picking up a lot of product. I don't know the trick to this because obviously I don't do this often / at all. It's funny, whenever I do stuff like this, there's always somebody who's like, oh, you didn't do this right. You didn't do it, or you should do it this way or do it that way. And it's like, this is totally experimental for me. This is not something that I actually do. To no surprise to anybody. I'm trying to, I was like just getting a big chunk of it. It is a pretty small, I'm kind of tempted just to get like a really big, I should probably just get like a really big foundation brush. I don't know how people do it. I also really like that with Desi's video that she left in sort of her trial and error and like the things that worked and didn't work, because you could see that it's not just as easy as sometimes it appears to be. It's always funny how easy things can look. Like, I was watching, I think it was Nikki Tutorials, and she had done a look that was amazing, but then, you know, she talks about how it took her like 6 hours or something, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it's so cool to see it all done in like 20 minutes, but who actually, I mean, really, who really is spending 6 hours on some sort of makeup look for, you know, going out to like a Halloween party? It's probably not happening. It's probably not happening. I'm sure there are quite a few people who will spend that long, if not more, getting ready. I'm just not one of them. This is going to be a nightmare to get off my face. Like the Incredible Hulk right now. Part of me feels like the Wicked Witch of the West. Part of me feels like the Hulk. But I also want to use some textury things as well, because I don't want to go for the snake thing, but I don't want it just to be flat green either. So, well, it's coming together slowly but surely. This is at least a fun experiment for me, considering, like I said, this is not stuff that I ever do because I never have the need or the reason to. Like, I wish I did. That would be fun. just to have a reason to do the face painting stuff. If I was actually doing this as like a costume, like if I was going out, I would want to wear some sort of deconstructed dress. So I would love to have sort of the classic sort of Greek goddess style dress, but like dye the bottom of it black and like have it all shredded and ripped. That's how I would do it for like a costume. I keep hitting the my earring. I wish I had one of those spray paint things. I love watching those body painting videos. They're so soothing with how like effortlessly things get applied. But I just like, this is kind of like mid-transformation. I'm having the time of my life right now. I didn't know if this was going to be that fun, because I thought that it would be like a real epic fail, but just putting in a little bit of yellow. I have a little bit of this Mehron Rigid Collodion, which is supposed to be for like scars and stuff. And I like that it's kind of, it gives the appearance that some of the skin is kind of peeling, and it smells so alcohol-y. But it's really kind of cool. And I just had it sitting here for so long when I bought some special effects makeup, and I just wanted to try it. I just really wanted to play with it. So yeah, Rigid Collodion is what it's called. And you just kind of paint it on, and you can see it kind of makes things look like it's peeling. Oh yeah, that's a really good one right there. I also picked these up, which are little blood drop jewels. They were like, oh no. So those little blood drop jewels were like, I don't know, $1, $2 or something. I thought that they looked kind of ridiculous, but also like they would be kind of fun. I don't know how well it's going to stick to the paint. A couple of them went flying, so I'm not sure what happened there. I'll find them in a bit because I've got all my products right in front of me, and I'm not sure where they ended up because they're just little tiny things. I'm just going to put one on either side just for a little something extra. So now I actually have the 3D gel. This is the same stuff that Desi Perkins used in her video to create the little drops, but I got to heat it up first. So I'm going to heat it up. Oh, this peeling stuff this was fun. Now I want to do other things with it. It feels really funny on my face. Like everything feels really tight. But I think once I get the headpiece on, once I get the wig on, I think the whole look will kind of come together. All right, so gotta work fast with this 3D gel stuff because, wow, was it ever hard to heat up. So, whoa, it just kind of has a life of its own. It just drips and drips. I also have some teeth effect stuff, so I thought that I'd put a little bit of that on there too. Okay, so I need to put the wig on and the headpiece now. All right, so here is the finished look. I have a lot of green, a little bit of, tiny bit of glam, and I took the red jewels off because I just wasn't feeling it once I had like the headpiece on. So I just put on my curly black wig because I thought that worked the best with the green, the contrast with the gold headpiece, just the plastic snakes. I wish I was able to find some more snakes because I would have just like put them all around me, maybe put a few in like the hair itself, and yeah, that I would have had them all over like my arm and everything. I just would have loved to have been covered in them, and it would have been fun that way. But anyway, this was my fun little Halloween get ready with me. My Medusa-inspired makeup with the crazy large headpiece. It doesn't really fit very well here. But anyway, I really like the sort of creepy makeup, but I like that I have a little tiny bit of glam there as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for suggesting this. This was a lot of fun to do. I really enjoyed just playing with some different kinds of makeup things that I never thought that I would. So I really enjoyed that. Anyway, I don't know how often I will do stuff like this again, if ever, but it was a lot of fun. So anyway, let me know what you're going to be for Halloween. If you have any fun costume ideas or makeup ideas or whatever, I would love to hear from you. Maybe it'll light a fire for me. Maybe I actually will dress up for Halloween this year. Anyway, thank you once again, and I hope we get a chance to chat soon. Bye for now.